failure. The mere mention of the word sends shivers down our spines. But what if I told you that failure isn't the monster under your bed? In our world today, we often associate failure with defeat, loss, and the end of the road. It's that dreaded F word that nobody wants to hear. We've grown up with the idea that failure is the opposite of success, that it's something to be avoided at all costs. But this perception, my friends, is profoundly flawed. Imagine for a moment a world where we view failure not as a setback, but as a stepping stone. A world we see failure not as an end, but as a beginning. A world where we embrace failure, not shun it. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But the truth is, failure is not the enemy we've made it out to be. It's not the monster hiding under our beds or the ghost haunting our dreams. No, failure is far more than that. Failure is the unsung hero of success. It's the secret ingredient that adds flavor to our journey. The tough love that propels us forward. It's the catalyst that transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers. It's the teacher that imparts lessons no textbook can teach. In the grand scheme of things, failure is not a detour sign on the road to success. It's the road map itself. It's the compass that guides us, the fuel that drives us. It's the architect that designs our path, the builder that lays the foundation. And so, we must learn to appreciate failure, to respect it, to embrace it. We must understand that failure is not a sign of incompetence, but a badge of courage. It's a testament to our resilience, our determination, our indomitable spirit. So, what do you think? Is failure really the enemy, or could it be the unlikely hero of our story? Because in the end, the unconventional truth about failure is that it's not about falling down. It's about getting back up and moving forward, stronger and wiser than before. Now, if you found this discussion intriguing and insightful, let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the like button if you've enjoyed this content. Share this message about the true nature of failure with your friends and loved ones. Follow our channel to not miss out on more pieces of wisdom like this. Together, let's reshape our perception of failure. Let's keep learning and growing. Think back to your childhood. Remember when you first learned how to ride a bike? How many times did you fall? It's a universal experience. Those initial moments of unsteadiness, the wobble, the inevitable crash. But think about it. Did you stop after the first fall? Second? 10th? No. You got back up, dusted off, and hopped back on. Now imagine if after that first fall, you concluded, well, I guess bike riding isn't for me. Sounds absurd, doesn't it? Yet we often apply this same logic to our pursuits in life. We stumble, we fall, and sometimes we decide it's not worth the effort. But just like learning to ride a bike, the path to success is paved with falls, with failures. Each time you fell off that bike, you learned something. Perhaps you learned to lean a little less to the right, or maybe to pedal a bit slower. Each fall was a lesson, an opportunity for growth, a step towards mastery. You were failing forward. You were making progress, even when it didn't feel like it. This analogy isn't just about bike riding. It's about life. It's about understanding that falling, failing, is not a sign of inability, but a part of the journey. It's about recognizing that the path to success isn't a straight line, but a winding road filled with ups, downs, and plenty of bumps. So you fell off the bike. So what? You got back up. You learned. You grew. You became more adept, more resilient, and eventually you mastered it. The falls, the scrapes, the bruises, they were all part of the process. They were necessary for your success. And that's the beauty of failure. It's not a dead end, but a stepping stone on the road to success. It's a teacher, a guide, pushing us to grow, to improve, to become better versions of ourselves. Just as those falls helped you master bike riding, each failure you encounter molds you into a more capable, resilient individual. So embrace the falls, embrace the failures. They are your stepping stones to success. Let's take a moment to appreciate the unsung hero of our journey towards success. Failure. Failure. It's an uncomfortable word, isn't it? But it shouldn't be. It's the most unappreciated yet valuable part of our journey. It's the teacher that provides us with the most profound lessons. The milestones that remind us of how far we've come. And the catalyst that propels us to grow beyond our limits. Consider the story of Thomas Edison. Before he successfully invented the electric light bulb, he failed 1,000 times. Yes, you heard that right. 1,000 times. But he didn't see these as failures. Instead, he famously said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." Edison's story isn't unique. Many of the world's most successful people have also been its biggest failures. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job. Walt Disney was told he lacked creativity. Steven Spielberg was rejected from film school, not once, but 3 times. Yet they all turned their failures into stepping stones towards success. So, what is failure truly? It's a perspective. It's an opportunity. It's a teacher. It's a stepping stone. It's a catalyst for growth. It's everything but the end of the road. Failure gives us the chance to learn, to grow, to innovate, and to become stronger. It's the raw material we use to build our success. Without failure, we wouldn't have the opportunity to learn from our mistakes, to improve, to innovate, and to grow. Embrace failure, welcome it, learn from it, grow from it. It's not the enemy, it's the unsung hero. It's the dark horse that propels us to the finishing line. It's the tough love that shapes us, molds us, and prepares us for our journey towards success. So, the next time you face failure, remember, it's not the end of your journey, but an essential step towards your destination. Now that we've established that failure isn't the enemy, how do we go about embracing it? This question might sound a bit daunting, but the answer is simpler than you might think. The first step is to shift your perspective. Instead of viewing failure as a setback, see it as a learning opportunity. Every time you stumble, you gain insights that can help you grow and improve. Did you make a mistake in your business plan? That's a chance to revise your strategy and come back stronger. Did your latest invention not work as expected? Well, now you know what doesn't work and you're one step closer to discovering what does. Next, we must understand the importance of resilience. Everyone fails. It's a universal experience. But what separates those who succeed from those who don't is the ability to bounce back. Resilience isn't about never failing. It's about getting back up every time you do. It's about taking those hard-earned lessons, dusting yourself off, and trying again. Persistence is another critical component. Remember Thomas Edison and his 10,000 attempts to create the light bulb? He didn't let failure deter him. Instead, he persisted, driven by the belief that each failed attempt brought him closer to his goal. And indeed, it did. Embracing failure also involves being open to feedback and criticism. These might sting, but they're invaluable tools for identifying areas of improvement. So instead of shunning them, welcome them. They're signposts pointing you in the direction of growth. Lastly, don't forget to celebrate your failures. Yes, you heard that right. Celebrate them. Why? Because they signify effort, courage, and progress. They mean you're pushing your boundaries, taking risks, and that's something to be proud of. Remember, the path to success is paved with failures. Embrace them, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Because in the grand scheme of things, failure isn't a dead end. It's a stepping stone to success. So go ahead. Fail, learn, grow, and then succeed. As we wrap up today's discussion, let's revisit the key message that we've been driving home. Failure is progress. It's an unconventional perspective, a shift from the norm, but it's a truth that can redefine how we approach our goals and dreams. We began by debunking the common misconception about failure, that it's a sign of defeat or a lack of success. But in reality, it's a stepping stone towards achievement. It's through failure that we learn, grow, and make strides towards our objectives. We used the analogy of learning to ride a bike. Remember those initial falls, the scraped knees, the moments when you thought you'd never master it, but with each tumble, you learned. You learned about balance, speed, and control. And eventually those falls turned into a smooth ride. That journey from falling to riding is the perfect example of how failure leads to progress. Then we spoke about the unsung hero of our success stories, failure itself. We discussed how Thomas Edison, one of history's greatest inventors, viewed failure not as a setback, but as a necessary step towards his goal. Each failed experiment brought him closer to his ultimate success. The invention of the electric light bulb. His persistence through failure led to one of humanity's most significant breakthroughs. We also delved into the importance of embracing failure. It's not something to be feared or avoided. Instead, it's an experience to be welcomed because it offers invaluable lessons and paves the way for growth. So let's change our perspective on failure. Let's see it not as an enemy, but as an ally. An ally that helps us learn, grow, and inch closer to our dreams. So don't fear failure, embrace it. Because every failure brings you one step closer to success. Until next time, keep failing, keep learning, and keep moving forward.